And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! I am excited for tonight's show. Excited to be here with all of you. I have a awesome guest. They are just a lovely person. They're an awesome author. They are the author of this BEA beautiful book back here behind me that we'll talk all about. I've gotten to know them a little bit here and there in the socials talking, and it's been awesome. And I'm so excited to get to talk to them face to face finally. But I'm talking about the one and only, the awesome Grace Walker. How you doing, Grace?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for being on here. We're so excited to have you.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I really appreciate you having me on.
Of course. It's going to be great. So, I was just going to say, we'll let people kind of trickle in here, but we've got one person popping up in here. J.A. Brighton, how you doing, man? Thanks for leaving a comment. And those of you that are here and have not left a comment yet, we welcome you. We appreciate you. Anybody watching on replay, we appreciate you too. And for everyone watching, as we go along, Grace's books are linked in the description down below. So feel free. No, don't feel free. Please go get them, check them out, and read them. Because look at this beautiful cover. I mean, how can you not want that? Look at that. That is sweet. That is awesome. All right. So let's start there while people are coming in a little bit. But tell us, just do a quick intro of who you are and what your books are about from your own words so that people know.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Grace. I am an indie sci-fi author, writing mostly in the YA genre. And my current series, Rogues Legends, which is Ash is the first book of, is a dystopian YA sci-fi with a little bit of romance and a general kind of action adventure vibe. And that's been, I guess, my latest project. There's currently a duology and then third book in the works.
Nice. Okay, I wondered. So it's not just a duology. There's another book on the way.
Yep, it's going to be a trilogy as far as I can tell.
Ooh, all right. Exciting. That's cool. So this book is gorgeous. Tell us a little bit about the cover and how you, about how it was designed, how the process went for you. And then also if that was like your original thought for it, or sometimes authors have like an idea and then like they go back and forth with the people doing the art and then they end up coming up with something totally different. So just walk us through the process for you in making the cover.
Well, I design most of my own book covers because I'm a graphic artist as my day job.
Oh man.
So I designed a large part of that. Mostly just for my process kind of just starts out with like a lot of concept sketches and planning. And I originally Ash and Ash 2.0 were meant to be one book. And so I had one cover design that turned out to be the cover for the second one.
Okay.
And so then I ended up designing this newer cover once I wrote the intro scene, which the cover kind of depicts the intro scene because I wanted it to kind of like set the stage for everyone opening the book that they can get that visual and then just dive straight into the story where it started.
Very cool. Okay, I kind of thought you did your covers, but I'm like I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not gonna say it like that. But I thought you did. I am impressed because they look awesome. You do good work.
Thank you. It's really fun for me. It's like a good way. I design my covers before I write most of my books,
Okay.
like so that I can it kind of helps me like get the like the visual of the cover kind of starts. I guess it gets me excited about actually writing it down.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. So like you think of the idea of the story, and then you design the cover, and then from there it like opens up kind of even more ideas for you to write about.
Yep. I usually like as I'm writing within like the time I start writing to like about the first 10, somewhere in the first 10 chapters is when I usually end up designing and like creating the cover. And then I'll tweak little like details on the concept sketches and stuff as I write, and more little like, oh, I could include this detail or that detail. And then by the time the book's like done drafting, I usually like have the cover solidified and like done, it gets me like really excited about like, oh my gosh, like I have a cover and a finished manuscript, and now all I have to do is edit it, and it kind of gets you through some of those line edits that are tiresome.
Oh yeah, I bet. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute with kind of your process and stuff. But got to shout out another awesome indie author, Tim McKay, says that Grace is awesome. I agree.
Thank you.
All right. So I think the covers are awesome, like I said. Well done, because those are covers that if someone saw it in a store or at like a convention or anywhere, it's one that someone's going to grab and just want to get because it's just awesome. So well done. That is good. And it stands out really nice, I think, on like a screen. If someone's swiping through with the colors and everything, I think it pops even on there, which is nice because, I mean, people are swiping through hundreds or thousands of books. So to have a cover that pops, that's important. Was that kind of what you're thinking too, of trying to make a cover that would catch the eye, or did it just work that way because you're so good?
I think I really wanted to create something like fun that would catch the eye and kind of stand out, and something that kind of showed the like scale of the world. I was thinking of like movie posters or like shots from like a wide, like a scaled movie like Dune or Star Wars, where everything's just so like incredible and has such an amazing scale. I was like, I really wanted to show the scale of the planet and the city, and then the colors just kind of came with it to like a cool, those are some of my favorite colors. And I was like, I'm just going to put those on the book. It's my book.
Those are excellent colors. I agree. And J.A. loves the cover too. Talks about reviewing it on his podcast channel. So I think your covers get a lot of love. And your books do too. They're very well reviewed. So awesome stuff. So in a second, what I like to do is just hear about your journey through writing and reading, and how you got into sci-fi fantasy, how you got into writing, how old you were when you did, and then when you decided to go for it and write a book, how that journey went for you. But before we do that, I have a question for you. Do you like really, really bad dad jokes?
I do.
All right.
I'm a fan.
Here we go. Let's see. Some of these are, let me see. I got to find one that's okay. This one's pretty good. All right. I got two for you. You ready?
Yep.
All right. First one. What does the gingerbread man use to make his bed?
I don't know what.
Cookie sheets.
That's a good one.
That's good. That's good. All right. Let's see. Last one. This one's really bad. What do you call a snowman with a six-pack?
I really don't know that one.
The abdominal snowman. Oh, wah. Tim McKay really loves dad jokes. Not really, he hates them, but I'm glad he's in here because he does not enjoy them at all. But speaking of Tim, we've got another awesome indie author. Another Tim is here, Timothy Wolf. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Yes, it was bad, but see, Timothy Wolf, he knows. Solid. All right, so again, take us through your journey a little bit. Like, take us back to when you were young, just little Grace. Talk about maybe some of the books you read that got you into fantasy and sci-fi, and when you started writing and got into writing, and then when you decided to go for it and write your own book.
I've been a reader since I was little. So I've been reading, for a really long time at this point, and always loved books. That was like my favorite form of entertainment. I think some of the books that inspired me when I was younger, I read a lot. I read the Percy Jackson, all of those books. Those were like my favorite. I read the Land of Stories series, which was like a fantasy series. That was really good. That I really enjoyed. And there was this really cool series called Half Upon a Time, and that was really fun for subverting fantasy, which I kind
Oh,
of
that's cool.
I was like, ooh, I like that. Like it was like a unique style of fantasy
Yeah.
because I mostly read fantasy whenever I was
Mhm.
younger. And that I think kind of gave me the idea to do a subverted fantasy with my first project that I worked on. But yeah, those were my big inspirations, which you can kind of see some of in Ash. I added in all of the chapter titles and kind of that was heavily inspired on the Percy Jackson chapter titles because that was one of my favorite parts of the book whenever I was
Okay.
younger. So
Very
a
cool.
little homage, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first project, I started writing over summer break when I was 13. My first like big project. I wrote little short stories from the time I was like probably like 9, and then when I was 13, I
Wow.
started drafting my sci-fi fantasy novel. Um, and it was kind of just like it was very much I like to call like a training wheels book. Like it was definitely like me learning like how to write and how I like to write. But it was a really fun experience because I'd wanted to be an author for a couple of years at that point. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try. I mean, like, what's the worst that could happen from just writing it?
Right. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Okay, so um when was that? When did you, because you started, you said when you were 13. So then was that Ash or was that something else?
That was my middle grade series.
Oh yeah.
The first book was Stardust, and that was like it's like sci-fi fantasy, kind of
Mhm.
enemies to lovers, Star Wars inspired
Oh,
series. Um, and yeah, that was one I wrote. That has 3 books, and I wrote them over those 3 years, and
okay.
just like drafting machine over summer break, and then kind of would
That's
edit it
amazing. Okay. So
during the
how old were you when you published those, all three of those?
I think I did Stardust. I was self-published through KDP when I was 14, and then Star Shadow, the second book, when I was 15, and then Starlight, the last book, when I was 16.
That is awesome.
Right there.
Kicking butt. Look at that. I think you're then you are the youngest self-published author I've had on here for an interview. There you go.
Oh, that's fun.
That's inspiring. That's pretty awesome. Good for
Oh,
you.
thank you. Thank you.
All
It was
right.
really fun.
Cool. So then the experience must have gone well because then you kept on going. So then after you did those three, was Ash the next one after that?
Yeah, I wrote those 3, and I kind of like just that was more for fun. Like I really only published them because I wanted the copy in my hands for like
Yeah.
myself and a couple of family and friends, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't really expect it to go anywhere, and it didn't really go anywhere, which was fine.
Not yet.
No, not yet. But then yeah, Ash was my next project after that I'd been planning for while I was writing those first 3. And I was like, I really want to write this idea, but I don't think my skills are there yet. So I'm gonna I wanted to write those 3 first and then move on to this like kind of
Smart.
my passion project. That
Yeah.
was like I want to level up a little bit before I write that.
Okay, that's smart. Very cool. All right. So how old were you when you published Ash?
I was 17.
Okay. And then how far later did Ash 2.0 come out?
I think that was right after I turned 18 because
Okay.
I had most of Ash 2.0. Like I said, I wrote them as one
Okay,
book.
one
So I
book.
was halfway through what is Ash 2.0 before I realized I wanted it to be 2 books because it was getting way longer than I wanted it to be. And so I
Right.
split it halfway through the writing process and edited and published Ash and then kept working on Ash 2.0 and published that, I think, later that year.
Oh, wow. Okay. And how old are you now?
I'm 18 right now.
Wow, you are kicking butt for only being 18. That's awesome. I'm
Thank you.
very impressed. That is cool. So you basically, by the time you've turned 18, you've published 5 books.
Yes, I have
That's
self-published all of them.
that
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
I
I'm
give
impressed.
Thank you. I give full credit to my mom because I was a homeschooled kid and I got a lot of English credit for writing books. So she really encouraged me and like through the process and pushed me forward. So Shout out mom for being
Heck
awesome.
yeah. That's yeah, heck yeah. Um, so Tim McKay thinks that's pretty cool. Um, and yes, that is true. It is making us all feel old, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh, that is amazing. Okay, so um, did you ever along anytime? I know probably not the middle school, but with your newer books, did you ever think about trying to like I can never say the word right. Query, is that
I
right?
can't say it right either.
I know. To go traditional, or were you just like, nope, I like the control. This is how I want to do it.
It was kind of a mix of both. I definitely thought about it. I was like, well, it would be kind of cool to be like a traditional author and like
Mhm.
have a book deal. Like that's kind of whenever
Right.
you say you're an author, that's what
Oh
people
yeah.
think of. And so I was like,
Yeah.
well, like on one hand, that would be really cool. On the other hand, I was like, I'm really writing these books like because I want to read them. These are books that like are, again, things I want to read that I think is cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I think I'd rather stick to the indie scene so I can really write this like book of my heart instead of
Mm-hmm.
having to kind of conform and try and squish it into the traditional publishing margins.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I like that. I just think that that's the way to go. I mean, obviously, if someone comes along, a publishing company, and they're gonna make you an awesome deal, and they're gonna do a lot of the work for you, and leave you creative control, then that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But that a lot of times that's not what happens. If they you hear about indie authors who make probably maybe not the ones that make it big. They probably are able to keep some control because that's their bargaining chip. But the ones that do well and then they have this great opportunity, sometimes they take it and then they lose the rights to their book, and all of a sudden they can't do what they wanted to do, or they get their ideas are getting shot down for the next book, and it's like, well, this is my thing, I made this. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it's got to definitely be right, especially now because you've done 5, like what you're doing, like, so that's pretty cool. Well,
Thank
that
you.
is awesome. That is awesome. So book 3 you said you're working on,
Yeah.
and then are you, because you've kind of done like every year, are you thinking in the next year that you want to have that one come out, or are you not sure?
I'm not sure. I took a pretty big took a big for me hiatus from writing after finishing Ash 2.0 to kind of just like I guess recenter and like
Yeah.
focus my life because I was graduating high school and I was like
Yeah.
that's
A
kind of
big
important.
deal.
So
That's a
I wanted to
big thing to
focus on
focus on.
that. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Okay.
but now I've actually started drafting again. Now that I've officially graduated and
Mhm.
working on that, and so hopefully sometime in the next like year from now, I'll have that out. But we're kind of just saying I'm not rushing the process super intensely right now.
Okay, that's good. Well, you got to live life too. Sometimes you can't
Yeah.
just write all the time. Um, so, were you still homeschooling when you graduated high school?
Yes.
Okay. Was there like a co-op or anything that you were a part of, or did you just do your own thing?
I did a lot of online class, but
Okay.
my mom taught school professionally, so she
Oh,
knew what she
nice.
was doing. She was
So
like, yeah,
she gave you a lot of good teaching then. That's awesome.
yes,
Okay.
yep. She was a very good teacher. So yeah, I
Did
did a lot of online stuff for high
Okay.
school just because it can get so
Oh yeah.
so much stuff that you got to
It
do.
is. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Um, did you do like a big celebration or a trip or a party or anything?
Yeah, it happened to coincide with we did a little trip to the coast, and so that was fun.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Well, that's cool. You got to do it. All right.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
really fun.
That's cool. What about after Ash 3.0? Like, do you already have like some ideas for something new, totally different, something new, like in that world still? I'm always interested because I know, like, I'm sure you have so many ideas being creative and stuff, but like, do you kind of know what you want to do after that? You don't have to say much because I know you don't want to give stuff away, but
I do have some ideas. The
okay.
next book in the Ash series is going to kind of continue some of the plot line after the end of book 2, after
Okay.
It involves some different characters as well, and kind of show a little bit of a different side of the events of the first 2 books. And then I do have some ideas for a series set in the same world, slightly different, slightly later timeline, that may have some cameos from characters from past series and just kind of tie into that a little bit. So I'm looking forward to working on that, but I'm kind of a one project at a time girl. So I'm going to be focusing on this one. And then once I publish this 3rd book in this series, I'm going to move on completely to concepting and world building and actually writing this next series.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay. I always think it's cool when authors write something new, but it's connected somehow, like in the future, the past, or over here. I think that's awesome. So that's exciting. Very cool.
Oh, thank you. That's one of my favorite things too. So I wanted to include that.
Good, good. We got a couple more people that popped in. So Lucas Clay is here. What's up, Lucas? And you are never late, my friend. This is drop in whenever. We're always happy to have you. And then ZK and AK is here. And I was going to ask you, with all your writing, if you had time to still read and be a big reader. So that could lead into his question of us saying some under the radar books. First, I would say check out Ash and Ash 2.0. They are definitely books that should be checked out. But one, do you still make time for reading? And 2, what are some under the radar books you would recommend?
I do make time for reading, although I have not done it as much this year as I want to. I always am like, oh, I'm going to read a ton, but then it's hard for me to read while I'm drafting. And so I've been drafting for such a long period of time over the last couple of years. I'm not reading as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Under the radar is not coming to my mind right now.
That's kind of hard on the spot.
Yeah. I'm like, there's so many great indie books that I see from so many on Twitter. So I'm like, or X, I guess now. I'm like, there's a lot of them. I can always shout out the Fellowship of the Indie Author on X. They have a lot of really cool, the members there have a lot of really cool books. So if you're looking for some indie published, you can definitely go there and check it out.
Nice. I like it. And I would say we've got a couple indie authors in here who have awesome under the radar books. Timothy Wolf, any of his books or novellas, and Tim McKay's book as well. Definitely check those out. ZK, if you have not. All right. So next, I got some questions for you about your writing process so we can learn more about that. So the first question I like to ask is, I'm sure you've heard these terms before, but there's kind of a spectrum of authors when they're planning a book, and there's plotter where everything's plotted out, outlined out, you don't deviate from it, and then pantser where you don't do any preparation, you just sit down and you go. Where do you fall in that? In the middle? Has it changed from book to book, or are you more towards one side or the other?
I'm definitely more of a plotter. I've been I've had very detailed plots for most of my books, but it has changed. The process has changed with each of my books. The first 3, when I was still like really learning and didn't know what I was doing as much, I had really detailed outlines, like 5K, 7K outlines for these books.
Wow.
Ridiculously detailed. And now I look at them and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? That's a lot of detail. I was like, you pretty much wrote like the short version of the book already at that point.
Yeah, that's like a short story.
Pretty much. So not that detailed anymore. With the more recent books, I do my favorite thing, I guess, now is just to do scene maps, like either with Post-it notes, or I use a software called Obsidian that's really great for like making plot lines, where it's really easy to like move stuff around and change it as you're working. So that's my favorite way to do it, is to just write each scene on like the Post-it note or the digital card, and then because it's easy to just like move it around to make sure everything fits.
That's cool. I've heard of Obsidian, but I didn't know that's what you could do with it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's my favorite plotting tool that I've used so far.
Wow. Okay. So you write a scene in like a little square, and then it keeps them all in order or whatever, and you can just move them around.
Yep, I do like I write the tagline, like I do the post-it or the card, and I'll do like the tagline and the one sentence summary of what happens in that scene, and then
Oh,
why
okay.
that scene's in the book. And then that way I'm just like, I'm always clear. I'm like, I know why this scene is here and I know what's going to happen in it. And then that gives me more creative liberty versus with doing the super intense outlines I did in book, like the first 3 books.
Yeah.
Like the scene was pretty much almost already, like it was so detailed to be written like already that whenever I went down to write it, I felt like I didn't have a lot of creative liberty. Like, so I was like, oh, well, I made this plan. I'm supposed to stick to it. Versus with the simpler, shorter summaries, it's been like, oh, like I can kind of, some of them I would write really detailed if it was like a really important scene, but then some of the more like lighthearted or fun scenes, I could just kind of sit down and do like just whatever felt right in the moment.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Next. Well, no, before I move on to the next one. Since you are more of a plotter, within your 5 books in any of them, did you ever have a time when you plotted out something to happen with a character, but then you wrote that character and they kind of made you change your mind? Like maybe someone was supposed to have not a big part, but you love that side character so much they got a bigger part, or somebody was maybe supposed to, kick the bucket, but then you changed your mind and changed their path or their story or anything like that. Has anything like that happened to you when you go to write it versus what you plotted out?
I have had something interesting like that with my first 3 books. I planned for it to be one book because I was just like, I'm just gonna write this one. It's a one and done, And so, but then whenever I actually wrote it, I was like, wait, I want to tell more of this story. I like this. This is fun. So I had a plan, and I decided that once I was almost done drafting. And so I had a plan for the villain at the end of that series for what was going to happen to them. And then in book 2, I kind of, early book 2 / end of book 1, I subverted that and completely changed what was happening with the villain in that story to fit the new story and the new continued storyline I wanted to create. So
Oh, okay.
that was
That's
really
cool.
unique. And
Yeah.
then for Ash and Ash 2.0, I had I had like more, like I said, looser outlines, but I did have a plan. But then some of the side characters, I was like, oh, wait, I feel like now that I know your personality more, that you wouldn't do the thing I planned for you to do. So we got to go in a different direction, do something like more that fits more with their personality. So I did that some with Ziara in Ash 2.0.
Okay.
And that was
Very
fun.
cool. Yeah, that is fun. And that's good that you do that, I think, because I think can be a pitfall of plotting too much is when then you write it, not listening to that voice that tells you like, the character has changed. They've evolved. They wouldn't do that because then if you just stick to it, it can feel so forced. And I think readers can pick up on that. So that's good. It probably made the story even better that you were willing to, be flexible like that with your plotter brain. So that's good.
Yeah, that was another thing I learned later on. I was like, oh yeah, like the flexibility is a nice benefit of not over plotting
Oh,
too
yeah.
much. Because I mean, whenever I start writing a book, I find that like, I have an idea of the character, and then as I write it, I learn so much more about them and develop them so much more just by describing like their actions or their body language or the way they talk. And so that does often end up slight like minor changes, I think, on like the way it's supposed to go. But yeah, the villain from the first book and then Ziara had 2 of the biggest changes, I think.
Okay. That is fun. Well, and that keeps it fun for you too, because it's like you're living or experiencing the story a little bit for the first time too, because it's changing and a little different than you thought. So very neat. Very awesome. All right. Now, next question. Oh, wait. No, I have one more question in this area that I just thought of because earlier when you talked about how it was really like one book, but then it was getting too long. So you had to split it into 2 books. How did that go finding your stopping point? Did you have like a chapter that had kind of a cliffhanger already and you're like, I could just end it here? Or did you have to create an ending to that first book? Or were you able to kind of seamlessly separate it into 2?
I did have a cliffhanger already in there. For the end of book 1, I've been told that's a pretty major cliffhanger
Nice.
there. So I had that one, and I was, like I said, I was kind of trying to like get the first one. I was like, I want to get this done now that I know it's going to be 2. I'm like, where do I want to cut it off? Because I needed to edit it because I wanted to and get it done before a certain date. And so I was like, like, where do I want to end this? And I was like, you know what? That would be a dramatic spot to end it. Like, I guarantee my sister's gonna call me and yell at me, like, if I end it here. So let's do that. And so I just did that just kind of for the fun of it. I was like, I mean, hey, like a big cliffhanger is, yeah, like, I mean, I like a big cliffhanger in a book.
I was just gonna say, Tim said team cliffhanger. So are you a fan of cliffhangers reading and in your writing? Both?
Fans in writing, whenever I'm reading and the book has a cliffhanger and the sequel's not coming out for 2 years, I am not a happy camper.
Yeah, or you look and there was no sequel ever made or something like that.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
man.
It's fun to write, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. So now next question. Goal wise, when you're writing, like when you're heavy into writing and you're trying to get a book done, do you have like daily or weekly goals that you try to meet? Do you just write whenever you have time and you just have like an end goal, like I want to get it done around this time? And then do you have like favorite places that you write? Do you like to write in the morning versus at night? Do you write every day or certain days? You know, that kind of stuff. How does your process go for all of that?
So it's been different with each of my series as I've like grown and changed my style as a writer. First 3 books, I don't really have any goals or expectations. Mm-hmm. It was kind of just like, I'm just going to write when I have time. Like, did a ton over summer break. And then once I started school back, it was like, well, I'll just kind of write, like wake up early and write or stay up a little late and write. It was kind of like, whatever, you know, like that was a lot more loose of a schedule versus with Ash and Ash 2.0. I just set the goal to write 500 words a day. And just because if I sat down to write the 500, I usually ended up writing more. And so it was like, well, there you go. Like set a attainable goal and then exceed it, and then it feels good, and you're like, yay, and you want to keep writing more, and it's like, you know, get that cycle started.
All right. Yeah.
But I mean, definitely didn't write every day, but I tried to at least put, even if it was just 5 words on a page, just to keep my brain in that rhythm of creativity.
Nice. All right. Very cool. Do you have a favorite spot that you write, like in your room, or a favorite chair, or do you like to go out to like a coffee shop or something like that? Or do you does it change all the time? Depending on
it's changed a lot, kind of just depending on the mood, but I usually like to write in my like little office space because it's like distraction free and have all my nice little like writing setup with my computer and my keyboard and my everything all neat because I get distracted easily. So it's like, okay, just like focus time, sit down, write, and just distraction free versus if I have like puppies running around and people talking to me, it's harder to focus.
That's fair. That's fair. Ro just popped in here. What's up? Thanks for being here, my friend. Appreciate it. All right. Along those same lines, so when you are writing, you talked about how you like to be free of distraction. So are you someone who listens to music or any kind of background noise when you are writing, or does it need to be completely silent?
I do listen to music. I have lots of I'll try and if I'm writing a thing that has a really specific vibe, I'll go try and find music from that vibe and kind of just curate my little playlists that fit. Like, this is a action scene, so it's lots of like fast pump up music, heavy metal, that sort of thing. Nice. Or if this is like a romantic scene, I'll go get like some Hosier and like chill vibes, do that. So kind of depends, but though with this newer book, I have had more desire to have like nothing, just quiet.
Oh, okay.
So I still include the music, but I don't do it. I can write without it versus with my other 2 books. I was like, I can't write if I don't have music. Like, how am I supposed to do this?
Right. So, interesting. Okay. So it doesn't bother you if it has lyrics going. It doesn't like throw you off?
No, I'm kind of, I guess I've kind of desensitized myself to it. And so it's like just jumbled up there and I'm like, it's fine. Most of the time.
Okay. Awesome. That is cool. I don't get that answer a lot. So that's why I always like to ask. A lot of people are like, it's got to be quiet. If there's music, it has to be instrumental. Lyrics will mess me up. And I'll start typing the lyrics as I'm listening to it.
Yeah, I have done that once or twice.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, let's go find some instrumental stuff. And
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the times that it's like, yeah, let's go find something that's just no words to confuse my brain.
Right. That's fair. All right. Lucas has a good question, but let me ask you one more before I forget. So in fantasy and sci-fi, a lot of times there's not a lot of research because it's creative and you're creating worlds and all this stuff. But have you had to research anything? And when you have, what was your like go-to for just Googling things, or like did you look up anything in like books or anything else?
I did not do a ton of research. I would call my books like soft sci-fi, like written by someone who science class was not her favorite. So they're really more it's kind of just like there's tech and it works.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like I don't need to know how it works. I'm like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
it's fine.
That's the kind of sci-fi I like.
Yeah, like it just, I mean, because I have read lots of sci-fi where it's like
Mhm.
lots of details, and I'm like, I
Oh yeah.
appreciate how much work and research you
Oh
put
yeah.
into this, but sometimes I'm just like, I'm lost. Like
Right. Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. Like I'm
Too
impressed,
too
but
hard.
I'm also lost.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
like you said, I just need to know it works, and then that's enough for me. I can say, "Oh, that's cool."
yeah, that's pretty much it. I definitely wrote a softer version of the tech in the sci-fi world. And then in my first series, there was magic as well, and so it was like it's magic. It works the way it works. I mean, like, who am I to explain the magic of all things?
Oh yeah, all right. All right. So Lucas's question, he said, "Do you plan to venture into other genres?"
I'm planning on sticking in sci-fi for now. It's definitely been my favorite to write.
Mhm.
Though I am looking to switch out some of the subgenres as I continue writing. I've
Oh,
always,
okay.
I think I like post-apocalyptic sort of books, so I think that's fun. So I may see if I can write some sort of sci-fi post-apocalyptic at some point.
Yeah, that
And
would
if
be
I was
cool.
gonna, yeah, sorry.
Oh, I said that would be cool.
Thank you. And yeah, if I was gonna write another genre, I did work on an urban fantasy project at one point that I did abandon in favor of working on these other projects. But if I had to write something else, I'd probably go back to that.
Okay. Urban fantasy is another of my favorites. That is good. And yeah, post-apocalyptic. I'm with you, Jay. That would be sweet. Joshua Forbes, another indie author who does fantasy and sci-fi, he said, "You just got to plug in the doohickey." Exactly. That's all we
Yeah,
need to know.
yeah. It's
I mean, be
protons and
technical.
protons and you know
Those other.
fuses and power cells. I was like, that's it.
That's
I mean,
good. That's enough. It
it's a
sounds
book
fancy.
about laser guns and cool like bang bang
Yeah,
explosions and a little bit of teenage angst. And I'm like, it's fine. I don't.
that's everything. We don't need to heavy it down with that other stuff.
No engine maps for me.
Ooh, this is a good question from ZK. He said, "What takeaways do you want your readers to gain after they've read your books? Like any like deeper hidden messages that you have in there that you in the theme that you want people to kind of resonate with?"
That's a really good question. I haven't
Yeah,
thought
it
about
is.
that one a lot. I think the biggest takeaway is, I mean, I wrote my books for people to enjoy while they're reading.
Mhm.
So as long as you walk away saying, you know what, that was fun, that was a good read, I'm happy. I think I don't know. I didn't want to. A lot of books I feel like right now do like have like a really focused like message or theme, and I was like, I kind of wanted to just incorporate a lot of like subtle themes into it instead of
Mhm.
having like one major focus. I think one of the themes I did like to at least explore was kind of the just the difference and the lots of the different relationships in the book. That was kind of fun for me to explore. Though I guess that's less of a takeaway and more of just like an exploration of the theme. Yeah, I guess my biggest takeaway would just be I like have a good time. Like I mean, in my opinion, books are meant to be like
Mhm.
I want to write books that are fun to read. And so as long as you thought it was a fun read, I'm happy to hear it.
That's good. I like that. That's a good takeaway. I agree. Great answer. Jeffrey Heilson is here, and he said he got Ash from Paper Quest subscription. More excited to read now. I'm not sure what Paper Quest is. Is that like a book box thing?
Yes, Your
Oh,
Paper Quest. It's a book subscription
nice.
by the month, and I got featured a couple months ago,
Nice.
which was a really cool and fun experience.
That is really cool. Oh man, I'll have to look that up. That's cool. Did they do anything with it? Like, did you have to sign the book or sign like book plates, or did they do anything like that, or little goodies along with it or something?
Yeah, I included. They had a bookmark with a quote from the book, and I did. You got to like an author note, and so I did a soundtrack to listen to,
Cool.
while like a Spotify link soundtrack to listen to while you were reading.
That is awesome. Well, congrats on that. That's
Thank you.
huge. That's really cool.
Thank
I
you.
feel
It
like
was really fun.
that's a huge step, like, getting into like, one of the subscription things. That's awesome. Very
Thank you.
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Awesome. All right. I think that was all my process questions. So, in a minute, I'm gonna have some questions for us to get to know you outside of your writing. But before we do that, I have a little game we're gonna play, and people sometimes like this game and sometimes they don't. So we'll see how you feel about it. But I have these cards called 1 minute mysteries.
Ooh.
So the card will have a case on it. I'll read you the case, and then it asks the mystery, or it'll ask the question it wants you to solve. And then there are 5 or 6 clues, and they're generic, and then they get more focused where it's a little more clear as we go through the clues. So the chat can help you, and then if you want clues, just let me know, and I'll give you some of the clues. But I've got. Let me make sure that none of these are that one's a little weird. We're not going to do that one. Sometimes the answers are like super specific geographically, and I'm like, I don't think anyone would ever guess that.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think I've done that one before. I've been doing these for so long now. I'm starting to get ones that I actually have already done. Okay, I haven't done any of these. So we've got 3 here, and I always let you guys pick. So 1, 2, or 3.
Thinking 3.
3. All right. Here we go. Good grief. They're sticking together. Oops, sorry about that. All right. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Jay says he's never any help, but he's here. All right. The case. A travel-worn and slightly grubby woman walks into an establishment. She immediately takes off some of her outerwear. When she does this, the shop workers get down on the ground. After 30 minutes, she leaves the business, but the workers remain crouched on the floor. This one is kind of weird. Where is this woman, and why did she go to this business? All right, so these usually have they describe something very generically, and they use words that won't give it away, but they have slight clues if you really dig deep. So let me read it again. So travel worn and slightly grubby woman, I don't know why they said grubby, walks into an establishment. She immediately takes off some of her outerwear. When she does this, the shop workers get down on the ground. After 30 minutes, she leaves, but the workers remain crouched on the floor. So where did she go, and why did she go there?
I don't know. My writer brain's thinking like for the first place it's going is to like D&D, like we're starting in a tavern, like this is our opening.
Yeah. That's a
Hmm.
decent thought. Well, so I won't give you. This isn't one of the clues, but like one of the key words in there is that they do mention that it's a business. So obviously she's getting a service, right? If it's a business.
Mm-hmm.
No, Luke is not robbing a bank. I think that's why they try to say everyone gets on the ground.
I did think of that.
I know. I think that's what they try to make it sound like.
Kind of a clue.
All right. I will give you, because the first clue is like not helpful at all. So I'll give you, give you the first two clues. So the first one is workers are not afraid of her. So that rules out the bank robbing one. The second clue is they do this kind of thing for every client. So every client that walks in takes off some part of their outerwear, which could be head to toe, and then they crouch on the ground and do something. Tame your task list. And Jay thought yoga is not yoga. Those were good guesses. I know this one's hard.
I'm thinking cleaning. I'm like, do you want to clean something? Like, why would you crouch on the ground? Maybe like you're cleaning.
You're on the right track. You're getting closer. So
does it have anything to do with pets or animals?
No. Okay. It has to do with cleaning, kind of. And remember, the person that came in, who is a client, they take off some kind of outerwear before they crouch and start working.
Is it shoes? Is shoes the outerwear?
Shoes are the outerwear.
Is it like a shoe cleaning service?
You're really close. They don't clean the shoe though.
Dang, I don't know. Dry cleaner?
No, not installing tile. All right, here, let me tell you the next one. So the next one says, sitting down low keeps the client sitting down low keeps them closer to what they're laboring on, what they're working on. Lucas is on the right track.
I'm thinking, yeah, like manicure, pedicure.
Hey, there it is. In a salon receiving a pedicure.
There you go.
You got it. That was a hard one.
Thank you, Lucas.
Yeah, you guys did good. So the next clue, I don't know if, I think the last clue usually would have given it away. The next one was the woman reads a magazine while being serviced. The last one said the woman is seeking a more, in quotes, polished look. So I feel like the last one usually gives you the best hint, but that was probably one of the hardest ones we had, and you solved it. Well done. Well done. And nice job, chat. Good work.
Yes.
JA, one of these times you'll get it, man. You'll get it. All right. So are you ready for some questions so we can get to know you a little bit outside of your writing? So we'll start with a simple one. It could be hard, though. We'll see. What is your favorite color?
Definitely a tie between black and purple.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to pick. Although I do love green, but I think black and purple will probably have to be my big favorites.
Okay. Is it just because you've always liked those colors, or is there like a specific reason in your life why you started liking purple or black?
I like black just because it's like kind of like a fun, dramatic color. I think I like to add a little bit of a lightly goth flair into my style, so the black kind of just comes with that territory. And then purple, specifically lavender, just because it's a very soothing color. Like we get a lot of like stimulation from the outside world, and I'm like, I want soothing, chill colors. So like lavender, purple, and sage green.
Oh yeah. Yep. Good choices. Good colors. All right. Next question is, what is your favorite food? So if you were going out to eat and you got to choose what kind of food you guys were going to get, but you can only choose one, what would it be?
That's really hard.
I know. There's so much good food.
I know.
You can say if you have like a couple that are your favorite.
I love tacos and I love pasta. So probably
can't go wrong with either of those.
Yeah, I'd have to really debate between those two, I think.
Okay. So now taco wise, like an authentic Mexican restaurant or like just homemade tacos?
I think I could go for either, honestly. I like both. I like a good, homemade taco. But I mean, if I can go out and get a good, like a
Oh
really good
yeah.
authentic taco, I mean, who's gonna turn that
Who's
down?
gonna
That's
say
good.
no to that? That's good. Uh, ooh, um, JA says pick a main, which you did, but what about dessert? I should start asking what your people's favorite dessert is. That's true. What
Mm,
would your favorite dessert be with this meal?
that's hard too. I really like. I am also a dessert person, so that's hard. My sister makes a mean pavlova, so
Pavlova. What? I don't even know if I've ever heard of that. What is that?
it's like a meringue basically that you top
Oh,
with whipped cream and berries.
okay.
That's really good. So if we were doing the at home tacos, I would get her to make me pavlova. If we're going out, I mean ice cream. I'm a classic vanilla ice cream.
Oh,
It's
nice.
need
Okay.
it. It's good.
That's good. Do you ever get fried ice cream like at a Mexican place?
I
That's
haven't
pretty good.
actually.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Um, let's see. John Stevenson's here. What's up, man? Yeah, there you go. Whatever ice cream's on sale. That's a good way to pick because there's a lot of different brands of ice cream.
Oh yeah.
All right. Next question. We know that you are gifted at writing and graphic design, but what's a talent or a hobby, either one or both, that you have that we don't know about?
Um, I really like to draw. That's one of
Okay.
my favorite hobbies, and kind of as an extension of that, I've been getting into animating over the past year or
Ooh.
two.
Okay.
Um, so I guess animation would be my current like favorite hobby
Okay.
outside of writing.
Very cool.
Um, and I'm
So there's
also
going to be a sweet book trailer for Ash 3.0 then?
we'll see. We'll see. I have worked on right now I'm mostly doing like animatics and stuff
Oh, that's cool.
for like my characters to just like,
Okay.
sounds on social media or whatever, just kind of like start
Yeah.
learning the
That's
process. But
awesome. Very
yeah.
cool.
And I'm also I'm a chef currently, like
What?
so I cook a lot.
Okay. Nice. All right. So what's your specialty?
Um I really like I do like a penne alla vodka, and I really like that.
Oh,
Um, but my family's favorite whenever I make for them is I do like a steak with a like classic chimichurri, and
oh,
they love
that
that one. I'm
sounds
like,
good.
which I do too. I mean, like again, steak and chimichurri, like man, that's one of
Oh
my
yeah,
favorite.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay. You are pretty talented then. That's impressive. Ooh, here you go. Would you rather have ice cream shaped like a taco or taco shaped like an ice cream?
Um,
Uh,
I'm gonna go with the ice cream right now.
mm-hmm,
That sounds good. I've already eaten dinner, but I haven't had
Dessert
dessert.
taco
So.
sounds pretty good. Yeah. Lucas want to know what software you use for animation for your animation.
I've used a lot of them over the last like year and a half that I've been doing it. I tried the Adobe one, and it was just like too complicated for me to work with. I mean, I'm certified in Photoshop, so like I do know Adobe, but that was like a lot even for me, and I was like, no, thank you. So I tried Procreate's animation, but that just does a frame by frame, and I feel like it didn't do enough.
Mhm.
It's a good option, but it just didn't do everything I wanted to do. So my favorite right now has been ToonSquid. It's a really cool app. You can do like keyframe animation and frame by frame animation on the same like uh, app, which most apps only do one or the other. So
Okay,
that's a really
cool.
good one if you're looking to get into it.
Okay, what was it called? Tune
ToonSquid.
Squid. That's a
Okay.
cool name. That's easy to remember.
Yeah, it's
Very
kind of funny.
cool. All right,
Yep.
awesome. Um, uh, Procreate released a new dedicated animation called. I've heard of Dreams. I think. Interesting. Okay, very cool. All right, here's a couple that usually people have to go back in the memory bank, but you won't have to go back as far. So, what was your first car? Do you know, or is it your current car?
I do not have a car actually right
Oh,
now.
wow. So this is a future. In the future, we'll find out what your first car is.
Yeah, planning on. I love Jeeps, so I'm
Oh,
like
that's a good one.
I would be a Jeep girl.
Okay.
But yeah, no car right now. I mean, I have I have parents that are willing to drive me places.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
it works out kind of nice.
yeah, it works out nice right now.
Now you talked about how you do graphic design. Um, what was your first job that you got paid for? Was it probably your writing? Was that like the first thing that you made money on your own with? Your books back
Um,
in the day? Or did you have a job before that?
I actually did. I designed a logo for a family member, and that was
Wow.
my
Okay.
first like paying job
Yeah,
that I
that's
did.
was it
And
like their
then
business or something?
yeah, it was for a family member's business, and
Nice.
so
That's
that was
awesome.
really cool. And then I did a book cover for a different family friend, and so those were, I guess, I kind of my first jobs. And
Yeah.
then um, I've started and currently own a graphic design company right now. So I've been doing I do a lot of like book design, like formatting and
Okay.
little section breaks and chapter headings and that sort of thing right now.
Very cool. Okay. That is awesome. Good for you. That's cool. Well, obviously your book looks great, so you know what you're doing. So if
Thank
anybody
you.
needs help, they know where to go. Awesome. Very cool. All right. So next question is, what are some, we've talked about some of your reading inspirations when you were younger. What are some of your favorite movies and TV shows?
Okay, movies. I Dune, the new Dune movies that came out a couple of years ago have been
So
my
good.
obsession. Um, which I used a lot of reference that a lot, or Ash was inspired by those movies somewhat. I had it mostly drafted by the time I actually watched them, but I watched them and I was like, oh my gosh, and kind of went into that editing process with that in mind. So Dune, I'm thinking about movies. I didn't watch as many movies. Love the Jason Bourne movies; those are really good.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Star Wars, definitely.
Oh yeah.
And The Princess Bride was one of my favorites
Nice.
whenever I was,
One of my favorite too. That's a good
yep,
one.
way back then. And
Awesome.
then series, favorite TV series of the moment is Arcane, because that was just so good.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Yep, I haven't watched a ton of other series.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, most of my like creative free time goes to writing, so I don't
That's
like
good.
consume as much media as I used
Oh
to.
yeah.
So I'm not up to
That's a
date on the series right now.
Oh, that's okay though. That's good. It can be a big distraction and slow people down when they're trying to create things. So that's good that you can keep that balance. That's good.
Thank
Um,
you.
Shout out Nathaniel Stottlemyre. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. All right. Are you now I don't know if you have a lot going on, so this could be a no, but are you now or have you ever been a gamer?
I have not been much of a gamer. I'll do games on like tablet games.
Okay.
I've done some of like the Star Wars and Marvel
Oh
like
yeah.
tablet games,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't been like a like Xbox PlayStation type
Yeah.
gamer yet. They always look really cool, and I'm like, that looks so fun. But then I'm also like, girl, you got books to write. Like,
That's gonna be a big time sink and distraction. So it's probably good that you've kept away from them so far.
yeah, I do play a couple though. The tablets of a
Yeah.
Star Wars game that I can play with my dad because he's the one who really got me into
Oh, that's
sci-fi
cool.
and thus
Yep.
got me into writing sci-fi. So I'll give him credit for that.
Well, that's the fun thing that you and him get to do together. That's cool. I
Yeah.
like it. All right. Let's see. I think because we already talked about books, I think that was all of my questions, but I do have one more here at the end I want to ask. So, as somebody who's already published 5 books, which is fantastic, for those people out there that are thinking about wanting to write something or publish something independently, but they're just, they're anxious about it, nervous about it. They don't think they'll be able to do it, but they have this dream. I feel like someone like you is very inspiring that you've been able to do it. I think that's awesome. So, what would be your advice to people who are thinking about it, considering it, or want to do it, or those that are in the thick of it and trying to make it happen? What would be your advice to those people?
I think I would just want to encourage people like that. I mean, I think writing is such a fun and incredible experience, and I was definitely really nervous to start. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what if this is trash? What if it's terrible? Like, what if it doesn't? Like, what if I'm wasting my time?" And even though that first book series really didn't take off, it definitely wasn't a waste of time because I learned so much, and it was such a fun experience that shaped me. So I would say you definitely go for it. Like, I mean, there's definitely, it doesn't hurt to try. And a lot of the times, like the idea of starting is a lot scarier than actually doing it. And one of my favorite quotes is you can edit bad writing, but you can't edit a blank page. And
Ooh, that's
that's
good.
that was what kind of pushed me a lot whenever I was like, oh my gosh, this is trash. And I was like, okay, but you can make it not trash, but you can't just like conjure something out of thin air. Like, you got to write the bad version or the messy version, wonky version, whatever you want to call it, to have the like clean, polished version that you look at and you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I'm so like, I can't believe it. This is amazing. So that was kind of definitely the messy and hard parts are worth it to get the final product because it feels so awesome.
Awesome. That is a great answer. I love it. Well, it's already been an hour. Can you believe it? It flew by.
Quickly.
I know. It's been fantastic. You've been an awesome guest. Thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate everything you do for the indie community. So thank you.
Thank you. I mean, getting to meet and talk to people like you is what makes it all worth it. So it's a lot of fun for me too. So I'll give you the floor one more time before I wrap up here. Just shout out your books, tell people where they can find your books, where they can find you, or anything else you want to share or shout out.
I am currently mostly on X / Twitter, but I just actually I started my Instagram today, so I would love to connect with some of the awesome authors I've met over there at the same handle. So love to meet people there. I'm just on those two socials right now, and the series is obviously it's Ash, and that's so if you like YA dystopian sci-fi action adventure romance, then I'd love it for you to check it out. And if you've read it and you've enjoyed it, I would love to hear from you.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right. Thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys were fantastic.
Thank you.
And yeah, I agree with Lucas. Grace is a beast for sure.
Thank you. This has been so much fun.
Yes, I don't know why I keep saying we. I think of that because of the people in the chat, but I'm just one person. I'm not one of those people that refers to themselves as multiple people, but you know what I mean. Me and the Beasties would love to have you on again anytime. Anytime you have a book coming out, something to share, just let me know, and we'd love to hang out with you again. I said it again.
Thank you. You're awesome. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. You're awesome too. So again, Grace's books are linked in the description down below. And then would you like me to link, or do you want to shout out anything about your graphic design, book formatting business, if anybody wants help with that stuff?
Yeah, that'd be great. The business is the website is Graphic Designs by Grace. And I'm currently rehauling the website right now, so it's about to get a big update. But if you have any questions about anything like that, you can always DM me on X.
Nice. All right. Awesome. I'll link that down below too in a little bit. So if you're watching this on replay, it'll already be linked down below there. So thanks again, Grace. Appreciate it. And thank you everybody in the chat. You're welcome. And thank you everybody watching on replay. Everybody have a fantastic evening. Go check out Ash 2.0 so that you'll be ready for Ash 3.0. Is it going to be called Ash 3.0 or is it going to have a different name?
It has a different title that will be the final title, but Ash 3.0 is a good like placeholder title right now.
Okay. Got it. All right. Awesome. All right, everybody. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, have a great evening.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you in the next one. And until we do, like I always say, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see everybody.